Texas Kelly ball game. Vikings are toast. Of course, they come back and win. So
what you had last night was the classic case of a team that's used to winning. They found a way to win. And a team that's used to losing celebrated way too early. The crowd kind of joined them in it. This is going to be a rout. This is going to be really fun. And in the end, they got their hat handed to them. And that's what Ben Johnson's going to have to work through.
What do y'all think about Caleb Williams? Like I watched starting out the first half, and like he's awfully emotional, man. He's like jittery all the time. Like I don't. What do y'all think about him?
I thought he looked a lot better last night and more comfortable.
He did look better. Yeah, he did look better.
He had an awful missed throw on it should have been a touchdown to DJ Moore and just chucked it into the stands. So there's still some of that with him. He does get jittery, Kelly. I don't think his offensive line is the best.
I think the jury's really out on him, Kelly. I see little bits and pieces of the great things at USC, but I don't see a surefire home run in Caleb Williams. And I think as things go on, the Bears are starting to see this too, and they got to be nervous about it. Look, that they had a lot of things going for them last night. They're up, 17-6 at one point.
Yep.
And mentally, the celebration had begun for them, and they got their hat handed to them. And let me say this, J.J. McCarthy did a good job of coming back from a really shaky first half. Kid's got some mental toughness about him, and it showed up when they needed it.
That was also, I thought, the difference between those two franchises. You've got Minnesota, who's won so much in the last decade, as opposed to Chicago, who hasn't won really much at all. And they may have similar coaching staffs. I don't know that O'Connell is that much of a better coach than the Bears head coach, Ben Johnson. So it's just those innate, probably we talk about all the time with the Titans, like a lot of times, and you talk about, you just can't shake that with a lot of teams, especially if you're that quarterback.
Yeah, and with that in mind, let's get right to our daily Titans update. We start the show every day with Terry McCormick, Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com. Terry, how you doing?
I'm good, George. How are you?
Good. I want to revisit something that went on that you may have better answers, you might not. But L'Jarius Sneed seemed shocked and pissed off when he didn't play at all in the second half. And he appeared to throw the coaching staff under the bus in sort of a nobody told me that I wasn't playing in the second half. What do you know about it? Was there a pitch count, and had he gotten to that pitch count? What really went on there?
There was a pitch count, and he knew about it. He knew that he was going to be limited, and it's going to be that way for a little while longer as they ease him back into this. Denard Wilson was very good on it today as the coordinator spoke. He said that, one of the reasons that he didn't play in the second half was he was out there on a very long drive that the Broncos had that ate up a lot of his reps. And once he got to that 20 mark, that was it. No more for the day. They were just trying to ease him back in. Wilson said he played really well while he was out there, but they knew that he was not going to be able to go the full way, that they didn't want to risk him playing 50, 60 snaps on defense and then suffering some kind of pulled hamstring, or, he had that quad deal last year. They didn't want him, risking any sort of soft tissue injury because he's been out for almost a full year.
So your answer is that he threw them under the bus in something he knew about.
He knew, I think the competitor in him being a player is, I feel good, I want to go back out there. And they basically said no, trying to save him from himself, so to speak, because they didn't want to risk injury.
Okay, it's the Rams, and it is, at least in week one, a healthy Matthew Stafford. Man, do they present some problems.
They do present a lot of problems. The one thing the Titans might have in their favor is this. They've got the Rams have both their starting guards who are kind of gimpy and banged up. So, they're probably going to be question marks if either or both can go this week. So that does give the Titans some hope there on the interior with Simmons and Sweat that maybe they could dominate against some backups. Now, the reverse of that may also be true because the Rams have a pretty good pass rush of their own with Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk, and the like. And if J.C. Latham is gimpy and can't go or he's limited, then you're talking about a backup tackle on the right side. And it's here we go again, looking back like the last 2 or 3 years where that spot has just been a turnstile.
Terry, one thing I didn't understand in the Denver game, you get down on the goal line where you want Tony Pollard, and instead you're getting Julius Chestnut, who, let's be honest, is David Fluellen 2.0. Why is he in the game down on the goal line?
I think it was just to give Tony Pollard a quick breather. I don't know. That's really all, kind of all I know about it. I think I would have stuck with Pollard for one more play. Now, the play wasn't blocked up very well. Let's be honest. I don't know that Pollard would have gained any yards either on that carry, but certainly I would have given him a shot and felt better with the ball in his hands rather than a lesser experienced guy like Chestnut.
Terry, what did Coach Callahan say anything about the offensive line? Because from the first half to the second half, it was totally different. And I don't know if it was that big of a difference when you look at. I know you got to make adjustments, but was there anything done differently, or did they just fall apart in the second half?
Well, I think Callahan didn't really talk. He talked some about it, but Nick Holtz today talked about it, and he said that. He was very pleased with how they played the first half. And you're right. He said the second half, they just got into a situation where they were too one-dimensional. The Broncos kind of shut down the run, and then it was Katie bar the door. They just, were able to go after Cam Ward and tee off on him. Most of those sacks that he took came in the second half, including those back-to-back ones where it knocked him out of field goal range. One of those I kind of put on Cam Ward for doing that, retreating and spinning backwards, the first one. But the second one, he had absolutely no chance on. They were in the backfield almost from the time he took the snap.
They got some things to clean up.
Yes, they absolutely do.
Okay, Terry, appreciate it as always. Thank you, and we'll check back in tomorrow.
All right.
Terry McCormick, Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com, with his daily Titans update.
Now on to the update. Sorry, having some sort of audio issues. Not sure how or why, but we are.
The Gremlins have sought us out, and they're winning.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully we get back to normalcy a little bit here because we got a big show. But our update brought to you by Football Night in Nashville keeps rolling this week. Who we got, George? Commanders?
We have Washington at Green Bay.
Green Bay
busy 5 days for them. They rip up Detroit, and now they get Washington.
Oof. So we got that on Thursday night. So come out and join us at Sports and Social in Green Hills. I'll be interested to see what the crowd looks like this week compared to EAGLES last week. GB got the pack.
Could be.
Because I was talking to some people saying, who knows? We know the Eagles, and I guess they've got a big fan base in Nashville, but in Nashville, the Packers could, and the Cowboys could,
sure.
and all kinds of different teams. So come out and join us Thursday night. We've also got some other news around the NFL. The 49ers have put George Kittle on the injured reserve, and they've also waived Jake Moody as well. With 4 games scheduled in the next 23 days, the Niners are placing Kittle on IR with a hamstring injury.
And that's a bad deal. Kelly, you know it better than we do. He better not try to come back early.
Hamstrings, that soft tissue stuff it is crazy sometimes. And if you don't rest it, now I will say this, my daughter had it, and I know this is totally different from women's basketball to the National Football League, but she did this stuff called dry needling, and it took her 2 weeks. And after she did it, she didn't have any more problems. So dry needling is kind of a technique that's kind of a new age deal. So I would definitely tell people, like, if you have something like that, go try it because it does get you back quicker. But hamstrings over time have been a soft tissue injury that if you don't rest it, it's going to linger for a whole year.
Dr. Holcomb, thank you.
Yes.
Also, Tyreek Hill has been accused of domestic violence by his estranged wife. She has alleged in court filings that he committed domestic violence, which he has vehemently denied. According to documents obtained by TMZ, Keita Vaccaro alleges 8 separate incidents of domestic violence and filings related to the couple's divorce case. Hill's attorney said yesterday that the allegations are part of a shakedown, adding that they are an attempt to generate bad media coverage.
It sure feels like in Miami, Kelly, that there's a locker room problem. They were basically a no-show in the game against Indy. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago, they were a team that everybody felt like was on the rise. Tyreek Hill went off at the end of the regular season last year, kind of aimed some of it at Tua. Don't get the feeling that that's totally been taken care of. My guess is the people in Kansas City may be saying, see, that's why we did it.
Yeah, and something's going on, George. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's like you watch that deal with the McDaniel guy, and I don't know. I would have a hard time. I guess he's a good coach. I mean, he obviously had an interview process with the team, but like, it seems like to me you would have a hard time respecting somebody like that. I just don't know. But there's something going on there. They've got too good of a team and too good of talent on that team to do what they did the other day with the Colts, because that was like you said, that was a straight no-show.
Yeah, I'd watch real close what's going on in Miami because it feels like there's a dumpster fire in the making.
Yes.
We've also got, I missed this over the weekend, but a Big 12 officiating crew has been reprimanded following a rules violation in Missouri's win over Kansas on Saturday. The play occurred in the first quarter after Missouri's first touchdown when the Tigers were flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. Kansas blocked the extra point attempt, and the ensuing kickoff was illegal. The Big 12 officials allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of one of the NCAA football rules. The Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment on Friday.
So does that mean I get to appeal my loss in the silly underdog pick? So can I pick another team that already won?
Well, this had no impact on that game.
No. Nice try, though. Good try.
At least I didn't book it.
I mean, if that was a late onside attempt late in the game that was recovered, maybe, but
we still wouldn't do it.
Like I said, at least I didn't book it like a goober.
Well, you got a good point there.
Yeah.
Lastly here, I know we got Tony Basilio to get to. We've talked about Vandy in South Carolina coming up Saturday night. Earlier today, when speaking to the media, Vandy's offensive lineman Bryce Henderson had this to say about facing South Carolina on Saturday night. He said, nobody really talks about the Commodores. And I think after we go in there and show these guys what that's about, I think people are going to open their eyes up a little bit. All we know is we're going to play our football, and we know that we can beat them, and we're going to go in there and do it.
The only thing I would say is, look, keep it to a minimum. Your own fan base is finding it hard to believe what's going on. And in a fan base that goes back 50, 60 years, about 90% of it has been crummy football. And it's a fan base that's hard-pressed to believe the way the players would love for them to believe. It's not so much that they're not loyal, but they've been down this road a lot of times. This feels different. It feels totally different when you see them go out and mangle Virginia Tech in the second half. But the players need to understand there's a lot of history here, and not much of it's been very good.
I'll be interested. I mean, I was asking George before the show, Kelly, if they go up there and beat South Carolina, what kind of a statement would that be? I mean, it'd be massive.
That's pretty big. That's pretty big. They've They're talking the talk and walking the walk right now.
And you have to give it to them.
Yep.
They are walking the walk so far. Just be careful. Okay, we
right.
done?
Yep.
Okay, after the break, Tony Basilio will join us. We'll talk about this huge showdown Saturday in Knoxville, the Georgia Bulldogs, the Tennessee Volunteers. Then at 4 o'clock, David Cutcliffe will join us, and I'm going to ask him the question, what is it that Vandy is doing on offense that is giving all these teams so much trouble? My guess is he'll have a really good answer, and this is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Tonight, the Nashville Sounds are back at First Horizon Park to start a 6-game series against Gwinnett. Pre-game at 6:20.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville app. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Knoxville Sports Talk Show host, Tony Basilio. Tony, how are you? You look like you are adorned in orange.
Boys, how are you guys doing? Ready to roll.
I don't know if George can hear you there, Tony. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Cal.
Keep talking, Kelly.
Loud and clear, Kelly.
Tony hears me. I can hear you. You're muffled to me, George, so I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you guys. I can hear both of you.
I don't know. We're having some technical difficulties here, Mr. Basilio.
Well, this technically better not happen to the Vols on Saturday, or they're technically going to be in trouble.
So, Tony, even though we may be having trouble here right at the beginning, kind of bear with me. You've been around a lot of big game atmospheres in Knoxville. One that most recently stands out is when they beat Alabama 2 years ago, where the whole state appeared to be in a frenzy. What's this week feel like up
there with Georgia coming in?
Like that. You only get so many bites at the apple. What makes this thing special and different, George, is this story of Joey Football, who I was calling him that back in the summer, just kind of as an ironic sort of fun nickname. Truly, if Tennessee wins this game, he is Joey Football. People here are going to freak out. And he's going to be one of the great stories in college. He already is one of the great stories in college football. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of his mother trying to teach his grandmother how to sing Rocky Top, but just everything about this guy's story is endearing. Everything about this guy's story is endearing. Everything about his story is kind of good for the soul in an age where we've gotten all about the here and now, all about the money, all about the greed. And here's a guy that was kind of thrown off to the side, sort of left for roadkill, after UCLA cut him loose. And I don't know that UCLA wouldn't trade him back if they could. I would imagine they would, seeing the way Nico's played for him.
So you've got a Georgia team that it feels like is a big question mark because none of us quite know who Gunnar Stockton is, what he is. The one big game he had a year ago in the playoff against Notre Dame, not all that good. Does it come down to him?
Yes. Look, I think if he's very good, Tennessee's going to have a trouble winning the game. If he blinks, Tennessee has an opportunity. Both of these quarterbacks, who knows? I mean, this is really these guys' first spot of being in a game like this. And, inevitably what you do is you learn about your team through a game like this. And both of these clubs, look, I mean, Tennessee's had a harder road, I guess, if you want to call it that. But really, this is the weekend around the league where when you look at some of these matchups, this is weekend where you find out what and who you are. And this game in Knoxville is going to be extremely interesting, but there's a bunch of them around the league this week. So I love it. We're getting ready to play real games now, George. The first couple weeks, no offense to Syracuse, but they're not very good. The ETSU game, I'll give Tennessee this. They were very crisp in that game where when you outman somebody, it's easy to go in, not take it seriously, sort of showboat against them, want to get yours, all that stuff. And I didn't see a lot of that from Tennessee. I saw them play clean, crisp, purposeful football, which resulted in a pretty impressive win. And now this is a real opportunity. And here's the thing about Heupel. You know, his demeanor is one where he looks like I am right now, which is like kind of sleepy, you know. Don't sleep on him. He's extremely competitive. These guys relish the opportunity and this challenge. And I'll tell you what, I think the stadium is going to be crazy on Saturday. I'm talking like all-time crazy. It's a really great opportunity for Tennessee. I'm not sure it's one the fans thought they were going to have when Nico hightailed it to UCLA, because it would have been one thing to be 2-0 after these first couple of games. It's quite another to be 2-0 and to have the betting public kind of heading your way, and to have sentiment on your side, and to have the game day show in your place, and just all these things that have happened here. And this is going to be it's going to be a very, very interesting game, George. It's going to be a great weekend here.
It seems like one of these deals where you've got a tale of two cities. Boy, if they win, you elevate their playoff chances dramatically. If they don't win, they go down some. How big do you think the swing is?
I don't think it's that big. I look at this game. I looked at this game all year and thought loss. Now I look at it and I say opportunity. But when you start talking about a swing, to me, I think the swing's already happened on Tennessee's schedule. I think most Tennessee fans feel like the swing's here. You know what the swing is? Alabama looks human. Florida doesn't look very good. And you have Oklahoma in your building. And regardless of what happens in this game, you win this game, all of a sudden you can start really thinking playoffs in a legitimate, real way. If you lose this game, I guess you could still think 10-2. I mean, I guess, but you're going to have to go protect your turf and then split between Alabama and Florida. And to be honest with you guys, when you look down at Florida's schedule, I don't know that Billy Napier is coaching at Florida by the time Tennessee gets there.
You know, he felt like he was on really safe ground until this went on last Saturday. I watched it. Their team kind of sleptwalked, and South Florida is way better.
Nothing fluky about that game. They got beat the line of scrimmage. You know, it's kind of like what Vanderbilt's doing to people right now. What Vanderbilt did to Virginia Tech, there's nothing fluky about that. They're beating up on people. In fact, George, I'm putting the kiss of death on Vandy. I'm picking them to beat South Carolina this weekend. I think not only are they a great bet at the number they're at, I think they're a live dog. I think they're going to go in there and win. Because I think physically they have a better football team. And see, the thing that happens to Tennessee's schedule this year is by the time Tennessee gets to Florida, they're going to be ground down. By the time Oklahoma comes in here, if Mateer keeps running around the way that he is, George, he's not going to live to tell about it in this league. You cannot play like that. You cannot be reckless with your own body in this league. You've got to get on the ground. Heroes in this league, heroes appear on injury reports when you're playing quarterback. I mean, and look, I love the guy's moxie and his toughness, and you know his post-game interview was wonderful with Michigan. But heroes in this league, they're the guys on the Thursday and Friday and Saturday injury report, and they're over there holding a clipboard when the game's going on Saturday. You got to get on the ground, man. You get yourself hurt in this league.
Same thing, Georgia Tech, Clemson. You know, Georgia Tech's pretty darn good, but Haynes King is at this moment in concussion protocol, and that doesn't do them any good. You know, you can run him 20 times, and he's really effective. He's a great runner. I love watching him. But you're right. As Frank Wycheck taught me years ago, you cannot make the club in the tub.
No, and you know this this kid from Georgia, it's been interesting, you know, so far they haven't really pushed it downfield with him rather. And they called like first week out, they called like 8 running plays with him, which is interesting. You know, is that by design? Were they just working on things? And then why would I want to expose my quarterback like that when I'm playing the likes of Marshall
and Austin Peay?
And Austin Peay, that just,
yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But
keep your quarterback upright.
You gotta protect him, man. This Aguilar guy, this story is such a great story, y'all. It's just such a, you know, I hope against hope that the glass slipper fits on, and we get a good Cinderella story here going for a few weeks, because it's really a lot of fun. And this fan base kind of felt left for dead. You know, we were on here during the Nico saga talking to you guys, and it's very strange. You know, I had John Adams of the News Sentinel. He's on me on Tuesdays, and we were talking about how some of our fans are like, well, you guys need to quit talking about Nico. You can't. These two stories are linked. They're linked.
Sure they are.
Because, George, if Nico doesn't do what he did, that kid, Joey Football, is playing at UCLA right now on a horrible team, out there running for his life.
In front of a lot of empty seats.
Yeah. Nico took his spot. We were looking, I was just looking a second ago. You guys can go see Friday nights and Friday Night Lights.
New Mexico
Lobos at UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Tickets start at $9.
9 times.
$9. And George, that's 9 too many. You could pay my parking, my airfare, 4 nights accommodations, have me cameo in my favorite TV show, and there's no way in hell I'd go in there and watch that game.
There are, for the record, there are sections available.
They're going to have to tarp off the whole thing.
There's an end zone available. Kelly, take over and be alert, because you know how important that is to Tony.
Well, first of all, if I'm getting run in a football game, if they're calling quarterback runs for me, I'm saying timeout. What are we doing here? I mean, that's kind of the way the game is nowadays. I don't like it. But I guess I'm upset and I'm kind of jealous because I couldn't do it. So I'm like, good gracious, what are we doing? And I remember my coaches at Middle used to say, we always got to keep the option game in because it's hard to defend. And I'm like, do I look like an option quarterback?
We used to call it, when I was on campus and they would run the option with Andy Kelly, we called it the sandbox option. I mean, the guy looked like he was running on the beach, you know, and I love Andy Kelly, but Johnny Majors loved it. You know, back in their day, they loved it. You know, you run that option. And I mean, to me, like somebody told me, they had me one time, Kelly, my friends, we were playing flag football on campus, and they said, God, you're the slowest person alive. I said, well, I'm white and I'm Italian. So both those things are working against me right now. It's called nature.
Hey, I got
literally
hold on a second, George. I got to ask this: Is Andy in Knoxville?
I don't know. I haven't seen Andy.
I don't either. I haven't seen him in ages.
I love Andy.
Yes, he is a great guy. Go ahead, Kelly.
We were literally playing Florida State, and they were number 1 in the country when I was at Middle, and they called an option play, and Marvin Jones about decapitated me, and I looked at the coaches, and I'm like, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing? So has Joey Aguilar's called on up there. What kind of young man is he, Tony? Like, you know, just in interviews, I know he's a confident kid, but like what I mean, is he – I mean, because of this Nico situation, I mean, is he – I mean, if people just drawn to him, have they really taken to him?
Just the exact opposite. I mean, his mother, you know, the whole thing, like last week, there's a video of the mother teaching her mother how to sing Rocky Top in the airport in Charlotte. I mean, 1 year ago, Nico's family was already working on their next move. They were already thinking about how they were going to get some more money out of other SEC teams or shop my kid to Miami. This Aguilar guy is just thrilled to get the opportunity. And if it wasn't for Big Nick and little Nico, this wouldn't be happening right now. I can't imagine what's gone through those people's alleged minds. And I do mean alleged minds. I cannot imagine what's going through their minds right now. What if Tennessee wins, George, and this kid has a decent game? You know how the media is.
Oh, sure.
They're going to pump this guy up. It's going to be Rudy met the miracle on ice, met the ice capades. I mean, this is going to be incredible. This guy will be everywhere.
In that respect, it's good that UCLA is playing Friday night because they won't be able to go on the loudspeaker. Final score, Yeah,
that's right.
It's funny too, Tony, because last year about this time he was in the running for the Heisman, according to you. Is that not correct?
Oh, I was
Nico.
My Nico takes of 1 year ago. Let's put it this way: I've burned all the evidence. I mean, they are in a vault somewhere, and they have been burned beyond recognition.
Okay, talking a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
Do you, and Billy asked this, I hope I'm not taking his question, but Billy kind of asked this yesterday, but it feels to me like nobody's really talking about Georgia, and I know Georgia's Georgia, but I think all of it hinges on Gunnar Stockton. You don't have Stetson Bennett. You don't have Carson Beck. You don't have these guys, the big-name guys that can kind of run the offense, and I think he's a big question mark. Obviously, Joey Aguilar is a big question mark too, but he's played well. But to me, and I know everybody said, well, it's a loss for Tennessee, but to me, it doesn't feel that way anymore. I don't know if it's even, but it feels pretty even. So do you think this is one of those years that UT can gain some confidence against the Georgia Bulldogs in this game? Because nobody's really talking about it. And for me, I just see it. I don't know if it's even, but it's pretty even to me is what it seems like.
It's like a lot of things, Kelly. I think it's time of the year you play them. I think it's a perfect opportunity for Tennessee. You talk about Stockton. You can't replicate what he's going to feel in Neyland Stadium on Saturday. Now, it's up to Tennessee to come and get him. What they've done defensively with Georgia the past couple of years is they've sat back and they've let Georgia dictate. I think Tennessee needs to be aggressive defensively with this kid. Not let him think, get on him early, try some things, gamble a little bit. You're in your building. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Take advantage of that. The other thing is about Georgia, look, they were very close to the vest and very vanilla their first 2 weeks. Who are they really? What kind of playmakers do they have? How are they going to use the Branch kid, the transfer from USC? What do they have at wide receiver? Can they push it down the field? What kind of running game do they have? Their offensive lines had trouble with pass protection. Can Tennessee take advantage of that? There are all kinds of interesting sidebars. And then when Tennessee has the football, if there's one guy in this league who's had the kryptonite for Josh Heupel, even when the offense was going great guns under Hendon Hooker, it's Kirby Smart. Kirby's the guy that brought the 2, sometimes 3 safety look at Tennessee and slowed down the deep ball. So you got to settle for throwing the ball underneath. You got to run the ball well. Tennessee has implemented and is now using a screen game that they've showed the first couple weeks, which is kind of an interesting wrinkle in their deal. They've implemented some pistol look stuff into their offense. One thing I wonder this week is, do they let Boo Carter, who we all know kind of went off the reservation in the summer, but do they flip him over there on offense and flip a ball to him and see what he can do? I mean, if you're going to do that, if you're going to put up with a guy like him in the offseason and all that nonsense, this is the week. This is the week that you use guys like that. This is why you keep those guys on your roster.
So my last question here, because I know Billy's got some questions for his pop, so I'm going to hurry this up. The first 2 weeks,
Billy won't return a phone call, so I don't know what I've got to say to Billy, but go ahead.
Hey, join the club. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Join the club.
What is this? Hey, George, what's Billy doing now? What is he?
He acts like he's the president. He's got too much going on, you know.
Just ask your freaking question.
So it seems like public sentiment now, it's the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big Ten, the SEC.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks of the season. What do you feel about the SEC right now?
Look how strong it is. Look how strong it is from top to bottom. The very, very, very bottom of the league, supposedly. Mississippi State beats Arizona State. The very, very bottom of the league, supposedly. Kentucky almost knocks off Ole Miss. The very, very bottom of the league, Vanderbilt goes and dog walks, boat races, Virginia Tech. I mean, are you kidding me? And guys, I told you this last week. The Mississippi State game sets up a very interesting game at the end of September for Tennessee, who will now have to go down there at night and deal with a 4-0 Mississippi State team. I mean, the SEC, I'm not sure if it has the great teams at the top of it. For instance, if Tennessee is able to turn the trick this weekend, that would mean in the month of September, Texas, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia will have all lost. Did anybody have that on their Singo card?
Wow.
No.
Let's think about that. The middle bottom of this league is what separates it from the Big Ten. The middle bottom of the league. And the middle bottom of this league looks pretty freaking good, guys. It looks pretty formidable to me.
So, Billy, on the charge of not returning a Tony Basilio phone call, guilty, not guilty?
Tony, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Billy, I don't want to sound like I don't know, like I'm a low rent person, but apology not accepted. I don't want to sound petty on here, but no, thank
Tony,
you.
Tony, didn't you house him and feed him for a weekend?
Twice, not once, twice.
Billy, let me ask you this. Are you seeking probation, or do you feel like some time in Rikers might be good for you?
Some time, and I mean, it's up to Tony.
Watch Law and Order.
Okay.
Everybody gets sent to
I have
Rikers.
no idea what you just said.
Rikers is some
Rikers Island. I love. Listen,
Rikers
I
Island
Billy.
in New York.
Yes.
I like Billy. He's a good man. Just public service announcement. Billy's not returning your call out there. Public service announcement. But go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry.
I don't know where to go now.
PSA.
You're taking on some water, that's for sure.
You were talking about how do these Georgia teams compare to some of the teams that Josh Heupel has faced and has gone down to? Because, there's been teams in these matchups where Tennessee feels like the more talented team, but Kirby Smart fires the guys up and finds a way to beat Tennessee. How do you think, after watching them through 2 weeks, talent-wise, physical-wise, how does this team compare to some of the teams Kirby has had?
Georgia's loaded on defense. Now they've got guys that people don't know their names, but you have to play a season in this league for me to know your name. They just have young, great talent on defense. And the truth is that they just reload. And the other fact of the matter is that, recruiting from man to man doesn't matter because guys bust all the time, as we know. And 3-star guys become stars in that sport all the time. So, however, you accrue enough 5-star players, you do it year after year like they've done it, you have a factory. My Eagles do not win the Super Bowl if it's not for the influence of the Georgia players. And their interior of their offensive line is Georgia players. So, eventually, I say all that to say this. Eventually, there's going to come a day where you lose so many that there has to be a down year. There has to be a year where it's not great because they've been at such a high level for so long. And I mean a really high level. Maybe they're gettable. Who knows? Maybe they're a little young here. Maybe they're not fully formed. Maybe they're not what they will be later in the year. That's Tennessee's hope on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Look, when this game is played matters. It matters. Now, from Tennessee's perspective, Tennessee is down 2 starting corners. Tennessee's down a very good offensive lineman they lost in the summer. Another one that they lost. Maybe we're going to see what happens with Moy. But, Tennessee's had losses on defense. And the thing that concerns me from Georgia's passing game, if Georgia can pass it, and we'll see if this is true in a week when we talk. I think there's a chance Tennessee's safeties get exposed in this game. I think and that's one thing Kirby Smart's done in the past is he's found those weaknesses and they've exploited them. But what I don't know, what nobody knows is how will Gunnar Stockton perform in that moment because he's never been in the environment that he's in. Look, we're going to do our show Friday at Calhoun's, and it's going to be wild there. It's going to be like probably 300 or 400 people on the deck, and we'll have our big PA set up. And George, I'm going to cause a ruckus because I'm going to scream at those Georgia fans. Nobody's afraid of you. Tennessee's not afraid of you. And by the way, you have a quarterback that's never been in this environment. And I think that stuff's true.
Oh,
I don't think
think
Tennessee needs to be afraid of them. I don't think Tennessee needs to be afraid of them.
To me, it's the X factor.
Also, you can thank Ohio for beating West Virginia for game day coming to town because they were going to be at the backyard brawl, Pat McAfee said, but Rich Rod loses to Ohio.
Isn't that incredible? You know, I don't get the whole game day thing. People that do it, that's fine. People that go for that sort of thing, that's fine. People here are wondering like who's the guest picker is going to be, and somebody said that they wanted me to go do that, and I thought, yeah, that's really great. They'd be like, who's the bald, demented-looking George the Animal Steel look? What is that person doing on my TV screen right now? I thought Lee Corso retired.
Wish you would do it. That's great. Get your name out there. Let's go
for the show.
Yeah.
We got to get Tony Vols out there.
So Billy,
that's happening. Yeah.
If he were to be the picker, would that be the beginning of your returning his phone calls?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what he said? Hey, give me McAfee's number.
That's what he would
say.
So
he cannot return my calls.
You know him well, Tony. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you know him well. Nice.
I love Billy. Bill, I love
Saturday around 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time.
Yep.
This game will be over, and you will take over front and center stage. For a person who loves this segment, and there are a bunch of people that do, how do they hear you Saturday night after that game?
GeorgeTClub.team. And listen, Tennessee wins that game. Let's see, 4 o'clock start. These games take like 5 hours now, so maybe the game will end like at 9. We'll be on from like 9 till 9. 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock Sunday morning. I'll be going to Mass with Billy, 9 o'clock on Sunday, 12 straight hours of doing this. And we'll walk in bleary-eyed. And I'll fall asleep in like the third pew with Billy.
Just mumble, Lord, hear our prayer, and it'll be
You got it, brother.
Hey, thank you as always.
Hey, it's always a blessing. I love you guys. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, you as well. Good luck Saturday.
And by the way, tclub.team is where you find us. tclub.team. Thank you.
Bingo. After the break, some thoughts on what you just heard. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler. Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Police Officer Garen Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have him. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs. Two total screw-ups of humongous proportions.
Sports. We're not living in an era where perfection is necessary.
They thought they were a championship contending team.
Here, we told you not to do this. Your sports live here.
ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Yes, I think Tennessee has a shot to beat Georgia. But there is a huge but. When I hear the two cornerbacks down, to me, that's a storm cloud.
Yeah, when you got guys, you need every guy that started, and you need them healthy to play a team like Georgia. But I will say this, George, and I was thinking about it. That's why I asked Tony this. It doesn't feel like the last 10 years. It doesn't feel like that to me now. I don't know if it's because of the quarterback. And Gunnar Stockton may come out, and he may be all world. I don't know that. But for some reason, nobody's really talking about Georgia. They've kind of fallen a little bit. I don't know if it's an even matchup, but I think it's close. Now, with the injuries that Tony talked about and you just talked about, yeah, that's going to be tough. But it's an environment that UT is going to be in. They're at their home place. Gunnar Stockton, like Tony said, has never been in an environment like this, and it's going to be crazy. They've got College game day there. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. How is he going to make it in that storm? I don't know. Nobody really knows that. I don't think Kirby Smart and his staff knows that yet. I just think that this is an even matchup, and I think Tennessee's got a good shot. I really do.
Yeah, if I'm Georgia, I don't like when this game is. This week 3, you're going up to Knoxville, with a quarterback like Tony said that, he's never seen an environment like this. The other part of this is, we've seen Joey Aguilar 2 games against Syracuse and ETSU. Has he played in as big of a game as this?
Right.
I don't think so. I mean, so, which quarterback plays better? I think that's the deciding factor here. And, if you're a Tennessee fan, you hope this isn't the game, because we've talked about Aguilar and his interception concerns and just taking care of the ball. If I'm Georgia, I'm coming after him. I'm sending the house. I'm making him. I'm Kelly. I'm bringing the safety down. I'm doing all kinds of stuff to him because, we can probably admit Georgia has the better defense, right?
Sure.
So How do you win the game, Georgia? With your defense. So this could be, if Georgia wins, I think it's a Kirby classic, slugfest win with the defense. But, if Aguilar does play well, then that's when it gets scary for Georgia.
What we're all going on is Gunnar Stockton's level of ineffectiveness against Notre Dame. Big game, Sugar Bowl, kind of a home field, we thought, for Georgia. And Kelly, because it didn't work out, people have kind of taken them down a tad notch in what their estimation of Georgia is.
I agree. I agree. And he was was he a freshman last year? I think he was a freshman last year, was he not? So when he goes into that game and he doesn't play good, that kind of sticks in your mind. I don't know. It's tough to come into a situation like that when Carson Beck gets hurt like he did and come in and play. And I don't think he played bad. I really don't. He didn't lose the game for him. It was a different mentality, it seemed like, to that game when Carson Beck went out. And I think that's what people remember. And I'm just interested to see how both these young quarterbacks, well, not young, well, one of them's young, but Joey Aguilar's played a lot of football. But I'm just interested to see how they perform in this pressure-packed situation where both of these teams are really good. It's at UT. It's got the college game day atmosphere there. It's going to be intriguing to see how they play.
Yeah, and when Tennessee, though, with Georgia, I feel like there is something that Georgia has over Tennessee as long as Kirby's been there. I mean, Heupel hasn't beaten Kirby, right? So, yeah, can you get that? Yeah,
right.
They've got that edge.
Get over the little Berlin Wall.
Yeah,
right.
So
is what this comes down to.
Can you get over that ledge if you're Heupel in Tennessee, and he's been thinking about this one for a long time, especially after, because they rolled over Georgia in that first half last year. They probably should have led by more, and Georgia just attacked them with their tight ends last year. So I'm looking forward to this. This is the biggest game of the weekend, if not one of them.
I'm looking forward to David Cutcliffe. He will join us once we get through with Stat of the Day, and I'm going to ask him, what is it Vandy is doing on offense that is causing all this trouble? Because as I watched Saturday, what I used to see was very predictable, run right up the middle twice, throw on third down. Now,
you don't know what's coming.
I don't know what's coming, and I want to hear David talk to me about it. That'll happen next on 94.9 The Fan.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock TVs from all the best brands like LG, Samsung, Sony, and Vizio. Right now, get a 65-inch Samsung ultra-high definition TV for just $399, a 98-inch TCL QLED TV for only $1499, or the 75-inch Google Smart TV for just $349. Shopping local has its perks too, like free delivery and up to 24 months interest-free financing. Visit us in-store or at electronicexpress.com. We've got that.
Friday, September 12th, Western AF returns for its third annual review at Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery in Nashville. Celebrate spirit, grit, and soul with live performances from Summer Dean, Dylan Earl, Ken Pomeroy, Cat Clyde, Jackson and the Janks, Lou Hazel, and Abby McAllister. Doors open at noon. Music starts at 1. Good whiskey, great music, and a full day of wild beauty. Don't miss the Western AF review, September 12th at Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery.
Announcing an event for everyone who's been thinking about adopting a lovable little puppy. This is your opportunity to adopt a puppy, and Pella Windows and Doors will cover all your adoption fees and the first immunizations. Join us Saturday, September 13th at Pella Windows and Doors in Hendersonville on East Main Street. This event is from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can pick out your adorable new puppy on site with the Nashville Humane Association. That's Saturday, September 13th at Pella Windows and Doors in Hendersonville. See you there.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bovitz. Our forecast today taking us into the low to middle 80s later on this afternoon. Just a few clouds hanging around, but a little more sunshine toward sunset. Overnight, we fall back into the 50s.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network. This fall, country music superstar Tim McGraw is hitting the stage live at the Pinnacle at Nashville Yards.
For Trinetics, Rock the Cradle.
And it's all for a great cause. It's going to be an unforgettable night of music, fun, and giving back, with proceeds supporting newborns and moms at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown.
And I like it, I love it, I want some more.
Don't miss it. Grab your tickets now at rockthecradlenashville.org. Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
I like it, I love it, I want some more.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Cutcliffe, David Cutcliffe coming up right on the show. But first, stat of the day brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. You can find them in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to their website. That's applecollisioncenters.com. All right, today, J.J. McCarthy was the first quarterback since whom to make his first career start on a Monday night. A little hint, it was in 2018.
Could it be Kyler Murray?
The first QB since whom to make his first career start on Monday Night Football? Has he been in the NFL that long, George? 7 years?
Might be close. Justin Herbert came out later than that. Don't think it's him. What the heck? Let's go with Kyler Murray and be done with it.
Well, it is actually Sam.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. Okay. There you go. With the JETS,
well,
Jets, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good question.
There you go.
Bad answer.
Yeah.
This is a recording.
His first pass was a pick six.
Oh,
I'm sure
that's
that was
kind of been like his career, except last year with Minnesota. So
it was in Detroit against the Lions.
Yep.
Wow.
How'd you know that?
I just it hit me.
I was just reading that off Google.
Yeah, I remember watching it. Okay, we welcome all of you into the 4 o'clock hour officially from our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is an interview I always look forward to. David Cutcliffe is on the line with us. I know he's driving right now. I don't care if he's in a covered wagon. I want to hear from him. David, how are you?
Well, I'm good until y'all just killed me with pick six as your first pass. An old quarterback guy. Oh, my goodness. That's a nightmare. Huh?
Yeah. That wouldn't be the way to get a career start.
No.
Yeah.
And Monday Night Football is not a very friendly stage for a first-time start. That's for certain.
Do you ever watch
the era of Don Meredith, right?
Oh gosh, when he would sing "Turn Out the Lights," it was awesome.
Oh,
do you watch your guys on the other channel?
I did last night. I don't always because I'll be honest with you, it distracts you a little bit from the game. So sometimes I just like to watch the game, and I've told them that, and that's not what they're on there for. They have fun and they have good guests. But I did last night because I wanted to see Saquon, who I'm very fond of. He played also not just with Eli, but with Daniel in New York. And, they were really close friends. And, I just wanted to see him. He's a real deal. What you want on your football team, certainly physically, but even more so in the locker room. His presence. That way probably had as much to do. I got two of my former coaches that on the Eagles staff, and they both commented to me just how his presence solidified their locker room. So there are a lot of reasons the Eagles, good coaches, but the Eagles and players, but the Eagles won Super Bowl a year ago.
David, I want you to teach me here, and I know that's a heavy burden for anybody, but over the years, I have always complained about Vanderbilt football, that it was very predictable. You knew what was coming, run up the middle on first, run up the middle on second, throw on third down, and then you'd punt. And now I watch this group, and it's been this way for a couple of years, but in particular, Saturday night, I'm trying to think with them as I'm watching all this different stuff, the eye candy that they're showing Virginia Tech. Talk to me about what it is they're doing and why it all of a sudden is so hard to defend.
Well, let me just say this about the hires. Along with Diego came Jerry Kill and names Tim.
Tim Beck.
Yes, two really good coaches. And I want to tell you, I've known Jerry Kill a long time. But they developed and had to find a way to win where they were. It's different than taking a lot of other types of jobs. So creativity and thought process becomes really important, and just how you practice things. You're not trying to get better today. You're trying, when you're coaching football, to get better. If you're doing it right, every drill, every snap matters. And it's Vanderbilt football practice is fun to watch. I'm going down a hill. If I lose you, it won't be long till I'll come right back. But
Gotcha.
So with that said, what they found was a very interesting quarterback. First time I saw him physically at practice that spring, I said, "Oh, no way!" Until I got to watch more of it, and so eye candy is a good description. There's a rhythm to their offense I like. The ability for the quarterback to move and be a part of the run game. We call that +1 runs. And when you can do +1 runs, that means you've got a hat, an extra hat to use offensively. So if your quarterback's a threat, let's go back to John Majors, for example, at Tennessee. He and I used to talk about the single wing. Those are all +1 runs. You remember all the misdirection and different things. And he used to tell me, "Hey, we need more misdirection. And so it's hard to attack that defensively. So they have found a really nice niche offensively. And I also will say this. I coached against Clark Lee when he was a defensive coordinator. So his ability to leave the concerns of the offense to veteran coaches and him dive into there, he's a heck of a defensive coach. One of the things I always noticed about the best of the coordinators, they taught really well how to teach, how and what to do, but they taught their players every detail of why they were doing it so the players could adjust. They could absolutely adjust everything that you were doing. And so I see that happening at Vanderbilt. This is not an accident. I've also seen Clark grow into, tough times. That does make tough people. It makes better head coaches. He's got great character and intelligence, and he's staying the course. So never going to be easy there. Okay, let's face that. But not supposed to be easy. You get better when it's not easy. So I've been really happy to watch things change there with Vanderbilt. It's not an accident. They work really well.
And David, you probably appreciate it more than most people because when you took the Duke job, it was exactly the same way. You didn't have at the beginning anywhere near the level of athletes that other people did. Now, you went through about an 8-year stretch where you made it look almost too easy, and it became a little unappreciated that you were going to bowls every year. It's one of the most underrated great jobs that a head coach has done when you were at Duke. Here's what I want to know. Is there something they do that if you were at Duke right now that you're saying to yourself, you know what, I would steal that. I would use that.
I do. I tell you one thing. I think that they do. They have a very, and we practiced great. Don't get me wrong, we did, but they have a very fluid process in practice. It's interesting. They go from drill to drill and almost good versus good into the show team. And I think they definitely did that better than we did, getting more good versus good work, meaning ones versus ones, twos versus twos. And it doesn't last all that long, but it's intense. And so I think that's one thing that's really gotten them better. And not tackling to the ground, don't get me wrong, but they're letting them compete. And, you know, I tell you, it's still the best way to get better as a football team is to play, is to scrimmage. But we don't have that luxury anymore for multiple reasons. We used to have T-shirts back in the day that would say, I hit for 20. And that meant you made every spring practice, because 20 days of spring practice was big-time live contact. And if you made it through without missing a day, you got a I hit for 20 T-shirt. And we don't have that anymore. So you've got to be creative in how you get your team better. And there's nothing like playing something to get you better. You know, you can sit and hit off a machine in baseball all you want, but live pitching is totally different than hitting a machine or just, you know, somebody my age throwing BP. You know, you got to get, and that's why they have a preseason. So it's an interesting challenge. The NFL, watching that start, by the way, I don't think they're practicing at the levels that they used to. And I think it shows. I think a lot of the play I've got to watch Sunday is not up to what it should be. And I have friends in that league, and they talk about it. You know, it's very difficult to get a team ready. And you see the defenses are still quite ahead of the offenses. And that usually happens where you hadn't had much live work. And everybody says, well, they have preseason games. Well, watch those sometimes close. Who's playing and what they do. They're not showing any of their secrets at that point.
It's a bunch of future
bartenders. Yeah. It's a great question what you asked. I don't know if people really understood exactly what I was saying, but you know, when I first took this deal with the SEC, I went to Clark and I talked to him. Just, you know, man, I feel you, brother. You know, we were in the same boat. And one of the things that I told him, I said, you can't get better on a daily basis. You've got to get better on a drill-to-drill, play-by-play basis, because you got to do it better than everyone else. And I think that's what their approach is.
Kelly, I knew he would give us great answers on that. I saw you shaking your head in total agreement when he got to the NFL. Take it wherever you want to take it, because this is a real teacher we got on here.
I don't really know how to ask this question, Coach, but like it seems like, and you're an old school guy, you're kind of like my coaches at Middle. I can remember Coach Donnelly telling me, son, players come in all shapes and sizes. And it seems like the developing part of players now is kind of gone, especially at the Power Four schools. And then you look at a young man like Diego Pavia, and this is kind of where I'm going with this, because if Jerry Keel and Tim Beck do not come to Vanderbilt, I promise you Clark Lee does not recruit Diego Pavia because he doesn't look the part. And it seems like that's kind of going away, and it seems like the development of these young players, like you can't, like these coaches nowadays want a finished product, and I thought college was for developing, but I understand that, it's a business now, and it just doesn't seem like there's much developing going on.
Well, I think it's a mistake when a coach leaves that mentality regardless of the circumstance. I understand that you have portal issues flowing both ways, but it doesn't mean you can't develop it. And by the way, Boots Donnelly, one of the best coaches ever, and he'd coach. Well, I keep them coaches working way into the night until he ran out of cigarettes, and then everybody could go home.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
I put in there with Boots. Listen, I know. But to go back even beyond Coach Donnelly, Coach Bryant was a huge believer in a winner. And you recall there was an era where he went smaller just to make sure he got good feet. He said if you had a lineman that had good feet, you could develop him into a winner. He wasn't wrong. And then human beings started changing, and it caught up with him. And he talked about this too. He said, obviously there are more and more young people that are bigger, stronger, and have good feet, and that are willing to work to develop it. And that's when, the 70s kicked in, and the decade was, 100 plus wins. So you're not wrong, Kelly. And what I think's wrong is if you look at your team starting in January when you get them, in the old days, it was all about development, and it wasn't about incoming new freshmen. I still have a problem with that. So if I'm a true freshman and I quote red shirt, that's probably going away, but I don't play as much as I thought I was going to, then spring practice was my shot, man. Now the seniors are gone, and you get out on that field and you go to work in the off-season program, and then you hit spring ball and you show you can play. Well, now what happens is we're not only bringing in 18 freshmen for spring ball, they're going to sign 25 portal guys. So what are you going to do as a freshman that didn't play much, or if at all as a freshman? Well, it encourages you to get the portal. And I tell coaches straight up, I promise you, that's wrong. If you think you're recruiting the wrong people out of high school, then you need to really reevaluate what y'all are doing. At Duke, and I think Vanderbilt's probably the same way, I really worked at using camp. We didn't recruit, quote, during camp. We coached. And I filmed every drill, and I got up in a tower as a head coach in college to watch camp to see what you're talking about. Kids that were competing. We did one-on-ones. We did 7-on-7. We did all of those things, and then we did a circuit. I wanted to see who would finish, who's going to compete in the waning hours of the camp in the afternoon. So I'm all with you, but why can't you do the same thing now? And I tell coaches straight up, I couldn't sleep at night if I was giving in to shortcuts with kids that think they're privileged. I'm sorry, but that's David Cutcliffe, and I would go to my grave saying that. I wouldn't accept that. So, I think there are coaches, and I'm not going to name anybody because I shouldn't, but we do have a few of them that coaching their rear end off practice, and you better get with the program or leave the program. And it shows up on Saturdays. Oh, it shows up. So, there's some guys that kind of understanding that now you can't lose control of your program and think that it is yours to build. And again, I'll tell you this, what I reminded players all through the years, the program is them. Nothing happens without players. Kelly, you guys are the program. Not some institution, not you guys. You're the program. So every habit you have, everything that y'all think about each other, everything that you do on and off the field, you're representing the program. That is what the program is. So shoot, let's get back to that, right?
Absolutely. So tell me this, Coach, since you brought all this up, which is some great stuff, but you're kind of an old school coach. What do you think the coaching level nowadays is? Because I see a lot of, and that's the reason I got into high school football, but I see a lot of guys that just want to run plays, but they don't teach you the details. They don't teach you the why of the plays. I get so, and it happens in the National Football League too. I get so sick of watching receivers. Coach Robbins, my coaches used to tell us, hey, it's straight down the line or slightly below parallel to the line. You got to get friendly to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You see guys rounding stuff off. You get guys picked off. Then you see guys running drag routes. And there's just no detail because if you go up the field a yard with a drag route, you're never going to get to the other side of the formation so the quarterback sees you. And I just see this stuff happening over and over. So what do you think the level of coaching nowadays is in college and pros?
That's not what it was. And, one of my dearest friends is Tom Moore. Okay. And so Tom and I talked, and he talked ugly to me because I quit coaching and he thinks I'm soft. I said, Tom, I am, Tom's in his 80s, 6 decades of NFL coaching. But it's unless you can do it on the grass, Kelly, it's not a PowerPoint. And what you're talking about, if people don't understand, if I've got an in-breaking route and I'm not gaining some ground to the line of scrimmage, I'm going to get undercut. I'm not separated anymore. And quarterbacks have to learn and trust that, and they have to throw, quote, this word I made up, anticipatory throws. So you don't throw it where the guy is, you throw it where he's going to be. And again, I just explained why. Okay. They need to understand why you do that. And then when you're running an out route, I would never coach a team that didn't have a stripe on a helmet. On an out route, I'm standing back out there at practice, whether it's route versus air or scrimmaging, I'm always behind the huddle. When that stripe is pointed to you, the ball should be releasing out of your fingers. That's the timing that's necessary to throw out routes. I don't see that being taught. I go to practices and I try to tell them all. They got guardians on their helmets, and under the guardian, there's a stripe. And I even go to the equipment guys to put a stripe on the helmet. I said, a quarterback in a game, in a scrimmage, he's not looking at total bodies to throw. He mostly sees helmet and maybe shoulder pads. We need those stripes, man, but that doesn't get caught. So you're getting into a pet peeve of mine. Every now and then I have to just leave a practice because old Cut's going to put his foot in his mouth and say something he shouldn't say. It's just hard for me. And I think part of that is the amount of time you have players. The portal, you're having to do X's and O's. You got bean counters in the NFL that are running guys in and out of there to keep the cost down because you got owners. So, you don't get near as many 6, 7, 8, 9 year veterans purposely. So you can't develop all of that. So it's an interesting challenge right now. I talked to Daniel Jones a lot. And, of course, Jim Bob Cooter, who was one of ours at Tennessee, is there. And, I think Daniel is a great attention to detail guy, and he's excited about their approach, and we'll see what happens long term. I don't know that much about their personnel, but I do think if your attention to detail and coaching the little things and players are buying in, you'll see good results still. What you're saying still works, still happens to work in a big way if you'll coach it.
David, I could listen to you all day talk football. I love the stuff you put out there. Somewhere in the hinterlands is Doug Matthews saying, why aren't you asking him a Braves question?
Well, Doug is saying, why are you not coaching, Cut? Are you soft? he would be another one. What's wrong with you, man? And I have to tell Tom, and Tom's wife is Willie, and I know Willie's a doll. And I said, Tom, hush. Have you seen how good looking my wife is? I have to be around her. So leave me alone.
Coach, thank you as always. This is awesome.
Blessings to you guys. Keep it coming, all right?
Same to you. Talk to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
I could listen to this man all day long talk football. Kelly, as you know, I've been a fan of his for a long time. I think he makes more sense. I told him that in the world of athletics, he reminds me so much of C.M. Newton back when Coach Newton was alive. Common sense, decency, ethics. He's a C.M. Newton package.
Yeah. He's got a lot of knowledge, man. I told Billy, I wish I could have heard a lot of his stuff. He was going in and out on me. I don't know what he's doing with you guys. I know it was because he was in his car, but he's got so much knowledge, and he's an old school coach, which is what I like.
Yes.
And I don't see that much. That's why I asked him that question. I don't see that much anymore. I get so aggravated, even watching the NFL, like guys rounding routes off. You're not helping your quarterback out. And a lot of interceptions get thrown that way, and everybody just blames it on the quarterback when it's really the receiver who's not doing what he's supposed to do. You're always supposed to get friendly back to the quarterback, and that stuff's not being taught anymore, George. They just go out there and these coordinators and everybody, they just call plays, but they don't give them, like, am I supposed to line up on the top of the numbers or the inside of the numbers or 3 yards from the hash or things like that? That's how detailed you got to be. And I just don't see that stuff going on anymore. And I think it's having an impact on the production of the game. I really do.
Did you hear his line about Coach Donnelly and the cigarettes?
I did hear that. He was coming in and out, but I did hear that because he's absolutely right about that. Everybody was scared to leave, and Coach Donnelly would sit up there. I don't know how many packs of cigarettes he smoked a day, but he'd sit up there and bite his nails. I used to tell people he ate cigarette sandwiches.
That's hilarious. Okay, we're going to do this. By the way, I would love to have David Cutcliffe on for 2 hours and let him just take over, because I think he's an incredibly interesting interview. Okay, we're looking for red-blooded Americans who have things on their mind that they want to talk about. We're now into week 3 of the college football season, and it's about to get really interesting. Games like Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, LSU. Who would have thunk it that Vandy, South Carolina would have real meaning? Give me a little Clemson, Georgia Tech. Haynes King plays. I think Georgia Tech wins. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Notre Dame, A&M. Is A&M really good enough to go up there and win? I don't think so, but that's why they make you play. Anyway, you got things on your mind. I want to hear from you at 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Hit the phones. We're back in a moment on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Therapy or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
Tonight, the Nashville Sounds are back at First Horizon Park to start a 6-game series against Gwinnett. Pre-game at 6:20.
Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan and the Game Nashville app. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
PSU's band in the house as we welcome you back on a good Tuesday afternoon where we've had two terrific guests, Tony Basilio from Knoxville and David Cutcliffe, talking his brand of football. It's been terrific. Now I'm looking for some red-blooded Americans who've got stuff on their mind. 615-759-9949. I got a couple of lines open. Clay in Nashville, get us started.
Boys, how we doing today?
We're good.
Good. Kelly still has not learned how to get to the Ford Ice Center, correct?
He's challenged a little bit, yes.
Hey, Clay, build a bridge and get over it, Hoss.
Did you play golf today, Hoss?
I did not.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay. As long as you're on the show.
Did you play golf?
No, I did not play golf. I did not play golf.
Are you a golfer? Are you a golfer, Clay?
I am a golfer.
And it's a
very good golfer in my early years.
Yeah, didn't your brother golf at Wake Forest? Is that it?
He went Battleground Academy.
That's correct. It runs in the family. That's correct. Anyway,
okay.
I want to talk Vandy, South Carolina. And I'm, you guys know that I love our coach and I love these kids and I want them to be successful. And so I pose a question to you guys. I've never seen a Vanderbilt football team absolutely dominate. And I'm not saying that Virginia Tech is all that. I think they were picked, 11th in the ACC, something like that. But I knew this was going to be a tough game. And it was a tough game in the first half. We didn't play very well. Clark admitted that. But something happened at halftime. And I think that Clark put a little paint off the wall. I think he got after him. and these guys came out and got it done. And I've never seen a Vanderbilt football team just absolutely push around another power conference team the way they did in the second half. So my question to you is, with this turnaround that Clark has done after things went backwards in 2023, and he thought he was going to lose his job, and he had to make some really tough choices, fire some friends. He said he took a hard look in the mirror, and he changed things. And this program is changing. And, you know, I want Vanderbilt fans to get behind this football team. I'm thinking about driving to Columbia, South Carolina to be at this football game because we've not beaten these guys since 2006, and I'm tired of losing to them. And I know as a fan I can get ahead of myself, but I can do this where Clark can't because he's got to play this. He's got to prepare this team every week. But we've got 2 games coming up after Saturday that we should win. And think about this, guys. If they are, even if they lost to Alabama, let's say they're 5-1 going into the LSU game. I think LSU's after Alabama. I would say if LSU is still undefeated, there's a good chance game day could be here. And that would be amazing. And so my question would be, since the start of last year, I don't think there's anybody in this conference that's done a better job with this football team than Clark Lee. I know maybe I'm looking through black and gold glasses, but I'm certainly impressed with the job he's done. There's been a lot of stuff put on X about how clean this team left their locker room to Tech. That's because Clark Lee's a class act, and these kids are class act. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a Vanderbilt fan. Anyway, I'll get off the air and let y'all comment. Anchor down.
So here's one of the things, Kelly, that's going on. And I'm as guilty of it. I'm guilty as charged on this, which is what level of unbelief can you allow to seep into your hope of belief? Because there's a bunch of us out there who went into Virginia Tech going, let's kind of cool it here. You know, maybe they can win, but not sure of it. Been down this road way too many times in the past. And their team probably deserves better than this from the fan base. But I understand it because I'm right there with a bunch of them going, are they really this? Is this really what they are? I don't know. I'm starting to have to admit maybe they are.
I'm with you, George. I am. I think. Of course, I'm not I hadn't been a Vanderbilt fan. You guys love Vanderbilt. You went there. You've seen this happen before, but I don't. I'm with Billy. I'm with y'all. I don't ever, and I don't know how good Virginia Tech is, but like to go to Blacksburg, Virginia, where it's a hard place to play, 70,000 screaming fans, and to dominate them in the second half like Vanderbilt did, there's something there, George. And when they started last year and they beat Alabama, and they had the success that they had last year. That breeds confidence, and it breeds confidence in going into the next year. And when you got Diego Pavia back, I mean, I'm with you. I'm starting to believe. Billy texted us the other night and said, "Do y'all believe in Vanderbilt now?" And I'm starting to believe it. I really am, because I know the kid can play, but it's these decades and decades of this and then kind of going away. And maybe they have turned, and I hope so, because I like Clark Lee. I really do. I think he's a really good coach. I think some of the things that Clay just said on the phone, I think he's a class act. I think he does things the right way. And I just want to know, though, when Diego Pavia leaves, who are they going to get to fill that spot? And I think that's what needs to be found out. But with the success that they're having now, that brings more players into focus and brings more players into, hey, I may want to go to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's not bad. And I think that's how you change a program. And I think that's what Clark Lee brought in here. He was confident that he could change the program. And now he's got a young man that has changed the program. Now can they build off that?
Yeah, that's a good one, Kelly. But for this team this year, I said before the season that Vanderbilt did their damage in the first half of the season last year. They're these games here in the first half of the schedule, they need to win. And I think they know that. Now they should be better equipped to play in the second half of this schedule, but we all saw what happened last year. Pavia got banged up and they weren't as good. It wasn't that hard to see. It's a luck of the draw deal, injuries are. I mean, he could break his leg Saturday night. We don't know that. And they're up a creek. So that's why you, Kelly, and a lot of other people are kind of walking on thin ice a little bit with Vandy, that what they're capable of. But when Pavia's not out there, what are they capable of?
Here's where the thin ice should go away. Regardless of what happens at South Carolina, Georgia State a week from now, a night game, should be a tight sellout. Anything short of that, and you kind of look up and go, if you're not going to get behind them now, when the hell are you?
Yeah.
Dave
Absolutely.
is up next. Dave, welcome.
Hello there. What's the crowd in Columbia?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What's the big crowd in Columbia, South Carolina?
The big crowd. What's the big crowd? Well, the place holds
70.
Williams-Brice is about 83,000, and it's a loud place.
Has Vanderbilt ever won there?
Billy, you got to help me with that. I think the answer is no in my lifetime. Dave, hang with me for a minute on that.
Okay.
I think the answer is no, but I'm not going to swear to it. So I'm going to have Billy look and see if he can spot the answer.
The last time Vandy won was in 2007. Yeah, but I think that was at home, right, George? That was in Nashville.
There was a Bobby Johnson win at home on a Thursday night.
Okay.
So they have one in Columbia.
Yeah, 2007.
Okay.
All righty. That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Dave, thank you. Okay. We'll go to the break on that, and then I could use a couple more phone calls, people who've got some things that they want to yap about. The lines are wide open at the moment at 615-759-9949. Jump in on the lines. We'll get to you quickly on 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve. You or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Papa Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. The George Plaster Show gets advertisers the results they're looking for. For example, here's Metro Nashville Police Officer Garen Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. and we're very glad to have them. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
A lot of people want to define teams by singular performances.
Sports. Did he not go back into the game after that interception?
Let's get this turned around. And we're all saying, no, they don't.
Here.
You thought you were on your way.
Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
.45 on a beautiful, actually 4:47 on a beautiful Tuesday in Nashville. From the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, we go back to the phones. Tony in Nolensville, what's shaking today?
Good afternoon, guys. I'll tell you what, there's 2 or 3 quick points I would touch on here. Number one, the South Carolina Vandy thing. Back I think it was in the early 2000s, George, didn't Vandy go to Bryce Stadium and beat them when they were ranked 6th in the country?
Billy, I don't know what you found there. I thought the beating the number 6 was here, but I might be wrong.
I think it was
there. I think, let's see, 17-16, that was in Columbia. Yep.
Was it really? Okay.
I thought so. Guys, and as far as talking about, where it's going to be a huge game. There's no doubt about it. I think you're going to find out which team is for real and which team is headed, in the right direction. It's a pivotal game. But also another game that I want to bring up, I heard a stat on this the other day I thought was rather intriguing. At Tennessee, with Georgia coming to town, in Heupel's era, they are 12-0 against FCS and group of 5 teams, averaging 48 points a game in the wins. However, against ranked SEC games, against the Power 5s, Heupel is 4-8. And I don't know if and that was actually said by Chris Doring. And I thought that was a rather interesting statistic. And it's going to be, he, in essence, called Tennessee a bully. He said because in these games against these group of 5 or FCS schools, they were 12-0 during Heupel's tenure there, but they were 4-8 against ranked SEC teams in those type of games. I don't know what that's saying. Other than that, it might be,
well, to me, Tony, what happens with Heupel in Tennessee, like, is there a reason they want to put up 60, 70 points against teams like ETSU and Austin Peay? Like, what good does that do your program?
They didn't put it up against Austin Peay. Austin Peay played them pretty good toe-to-toe about 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, maybe not Austin Peay, but you see these games.
By the way, something pretty good going on in Clarksville. That program's taking
got something
a move.
cooking up there.
They do have something cooking.
But with Heupel, it seems to me when he does play inferior opponents, the bully aspect comes in where he goes, here we go, let's boom, 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 score points. But with Kirby Smart, he takes the time to, and I could be totally off on this, last week against Austin Peay. And I don't want to discredit Austin Peay because they did hang in there. But to me, Kirby Smart faces those teams and likes to work on certain things and doesn't act like that bully. I think that's a good point on Chris Doering. And again, who knows what happens Saturday, but I do get that same feeling with Heupel.
And one more thing, I thought this was rather interesting on the pro level. Kelly, you might want to touch on this. I thought it was rather interesting this weekend on opening weekend of the NFL. I found it intriguing that you had the Packers playing the Lions and you had the Vikings playing the Bears.
Bears, yeah.
The Bruise division, and what it's nicknamed the Bruise division. How right off the bat you had them playing each other in a division game, and how often does that occur on the first opening game in the NFL? And was that just designed? I was going to get y'all's take on that. Guys, I'm going to let you go and get another call. Thank you.
I'm guessing it was designed. I mean, they know how to put their schedule together, and I'm guessing it was.
I think so too. That's the black and blue division. Yeah, that's a really good division this year too. I don't know how good the Bears are going to be, but Minnesota's really good. Obviously, Detroit with the success they've had the last couple of years, and then Green Bay. If Jordan Love can play good, I think I think Green Bay's in it too, and they got the best defensive player that they just got via trade from the Dallas Cowboys. So I think they're a threat. So yeah, I think that was a planned deal.
Kelly, I think one of the things that goes maybe untalked about enough, but it happened last night and it happens all over the place. Teams that do not know how to close the deal. Yeah. The Bears showed you an example of that last night. Sadly, Titans were in the same deal. Not only did their players perhaps not know how to close the deal, I don't think their coaches knew how to close the deal. The Titans coaching staff was Denver's best friend. It gave them 7 that Denver didn't deserve. Anyway, my point to it is when we get into Vandy, I don't know that we can put enough stock into what beating Alabama did. Because I'll admit, it took me until about the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter to go, holy crap, they could win this game. And I know as a young sideline announcer, when Vandy was in sort of the same kind of, not great at football, that there was a lot of get to the fourth quarter and you'd kind of see this, oh crap, what do we do? How do we don't know how to close. And when they closed against Alabama, then shortly after that were wins at Auburn, wins at Kentucky, now wins at Virginia Tech, road wins that they never used to get. That close against Alabama is a big deal.
It really is. And you learn how to do that. That's a learned process that you have to do. And when you haven't been able to do that for years, it creates a mentality of kind of losing, like who's going to lose the game. But then when you finally get over that hump and you start winning games like that, George, it gives you great confidence. It gives you a mindset to say, hey, we can do this. Let's just go out and do it. I always used to New England Patriots when Tom Brady was there. Like, if you gave him the ball 5 minutes to go in the game and they were up by 2 or 3 points, the game's over because they're going to finish it out. They knew how to close, and that's why they went to all those Super Bowls, and that's why they won all those Super Bowls, because they knew how to close at the end of the game, and they had confidence in it. And I think that's what Diego Pavia is bringing to these guys. I talked about belief yesterday, but he's bringing a belief and a confidence of, we can finish this game, guys. Even if we're down, we can come back. But if we're ahead, we can finish these guys off and put another record in our wins and loss category. And I'm starting to become a believer, Billy. I am. I'm starting to become. I mean, it's going to take if they go to South Carolina and win, which I think they can. I don't think South Carolina. I think they're a little overrated right now. I do. I think Lenore Sellers is a good player, but I think from what you saw the other day from Vanderbilt, they're kind of a complete team, and I don't know if South Carolina is that way yet.
I got to run to the break. I hate to do this, Billy. Plaster bet of the day and a little gloating is coming up next.
When you're all in for game day, Electronic Express has you covered with the largest selection of in-stock TVs from all the best brands like LG, Samsung, Sony, and Vizio. Right now, get a 65-inch Samsung Ultra High Definition TV for just $399, a 98-inch TCL QLED TV for only $1499, or this 75-inch Google Smart TV for just $349. Shopping local has its perks too, like free delivery and up to 24 months interest-free financing. Visit us in-store or at electronicexpress.com. We've got that.
Ponce Law is the only personal injury law firm with the Crash Cam network. Powered by Roadproof, capturing accident footage on highways across Middle Tennessee. Injured in an accident? Call Ponce Law. We offer a no-fee guarantee, and for over 30 years, we've been helping injured people just like you. We've been voted best law firm multiple times. I'm Michael Ponce, and we want to hear your story. Call us today at 615-244-4321. Ponce Law, justice for all.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Final segment on a Tuesday. Time now for Bet of the Day, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. We take a look what happened last night, and it was a win with the Minnesota Vikings.
Darn tootin' it was, and I didn't deserve it.
No, you did not.
The Bears were the better team, and Kelly, they didn't know how to close the deal.
No, they did not. I don't know what I feel about Caleb Williams. He looked better last night, but I saw that running around, and I mean, he's an athlete. He very much so is, but like, you can't get emotional, man. I think he's emotional, so it's going to be interesting to see how this season goes for him.
Needs to stay in the pocket.
He's not going to do that because I think he's gun shy right now because they weren't very good up front last year. I don't know how good they are this year. I think they've gotten better, but he's just not that guy.
So tonight we got to go back to baseball. We're 30-32 since we started the new fiscal year, so to speak. And I'm going Philly tonight at home against the Mets. Philly is trying to put the Mets away once and for all. They won last night when the Mets had the better starting pitcher. I think they'll win tonight because they've got the better starting pitcher. And when we come back tomorrow with Mike Organ from the Tennessean and then Clark Lee, Kelly, I'll be 1 under 500. So just remember that.
Oh, really? Is that a book? Are we going to book it? Go ahead and book it.
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. And I don't appreciate your attitude. Your attitude needs to clean up. Clean it up between now and tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Director, you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks to all of you for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow on 94.9 The Fan.